Hi everyone, it's Jenny Dang. I'm currently in Tokyo. For lunch today, we're having omakase at Sushi Rinda. Let's see if it's worth the travel. So Sushi Rinda is actually part of a little company called the Shortstop. Not only do they have this sushi omakase spot, they also have other sushi restaurants called Sushi Ranmaru and Sushi Counter R. They all have a playful baseball theme, hence the name Shortstop. They're known for their fun and approachable omakase, and they all have English-speaking staff, so both locals and tourists are welcome. They are a little bit far from Tokyo Center, just in a little cozy neighborhood. But once I step inside, I actually feel like I belonged in the neighborhood, so relaxed and lighthearted. Even a San Francisco Giants fan like me, sitting next to an LA Dodgers Shohei Ohtani fan, we can both just relax and enjoy sushi together. Now, let's enjoy Sushi Rinda's lunch omakase for 16,500 yen.
僕も生まれたばっかで、
本当ですか。おめでとうございます。
1週間違いぐらいで、8月平成だ。
最後の平成。
ラスト平成。
Sushi Rinda swings hard with the first piece being the otoro. Get it? Baseball swing, swing. Okay. So it's reasonably fatty with a mild tuna sweetness and a small amount of sinew, so I did have to chew a little bit.
始めましたみたいな連絡をいただいて、その時お腹にしてくれてるんで、こうやって来れました。初ランチですね。
初外出。
初外出です。出産。
まあ1ヶ月研修も
もうすぐです。
朝まだ1ヶ月にもなってないです。
なってないです。
さあお出し行きましょう。ブリ、イエローテール、ブリ。いいよ。
For the yellowtail, it has a decently medium body tenderness with a nice umami flavor.
ジャパニーズだし、5 カラーヌードル、オンザシーブリング、タイ。
So here we have a little break from the sushi. This warm bowl of rainbow-colored salmon is playful and comforting, and the cooked sea bream has a nice flaky texture. Since Sushi Rinda style leans more modern, I think you can expect more of these fun courses like the salmon in between sushi, which I think is great for those taking their first baby steps into the world of sushi omakase.
大人がそうっすよ。いや絶対そうなりますよ。喧嘩になっちゃう。
The squid is beautifully julienne and neatly stacked on top of each other, which gives it an easy, chewy bite. Not many sushi have a huge charcoal in the center of the restaurant, so this is quite an amusing sight. A lot of times, sushi restaurant will serve the squid leg after the squid nigiri, but Sushi Rinda's version is quite fun. They serve it on the little skewer and charcoal grill it, makes me feel like I'm at a skewer restaurant as well. It has a nice smoky flavor and a mild crunchy texture.
だいぶ粒も大きくなってきました。肉が。
お寿司がいいと思う。
たらこで喜んでくれ。
しかもあのたらこでさ。
アメリカ
とびっこにイクラと教えられて、これをイクラだと思って生きてきたって
何十倍も大きい。
これをイクラだと思ってました。あ、でももちろん大人やってすぐ分かってたんですけど、昔実は。
For the salmon roll, each of them pops with a strong saltiness and a hint of brininess. Not as overly salty as the ones you'll find at casual sushi spots in the States, but still definitely on the salty side. So salmon is actually one of my favorites during the autumn season, and I always look forward to seeing it in an omakase. But since Pacific Star is a humble and cheap fish, I actually don't see it too often in a high-end omakase.
着物だったらいいんですけど、
確かに確かに。
寿司屋はちょっと月曜火曜とかサンマが美味しいのがたくさんありますよね。
Unfortunately, this one doesn't have the butteriness I love about sanma, but it's still enjoyable with its thick, meaty texture and semi-bold oceanic oiliness.
お茶目やね。そうよね。リンダっていつもお茶目やね。
I've seen chefs grill fish over charcoal or use a charcoal-filled basket to sear the fish, but it's always such a fun sight when the chef brings it directly in front of you and charcoal grilled the nodoguro right on top.
あの後アップデートあるって。
話し合った。
アップだ。
そうね。
それはもうちょっと早いと思う。逆に後で来るだけとか全然ある。ベイビーどうせな買いに行かないけど。
そうだ。
こう来る。
島根県が一番ね、国産のお客さん入ってきてる。
あ、そうなんですか。
実はね。
意外なんだけど。
The nodoguro is moderately fatty, and the charcoal grilling does give it a nice rich smokiness, but it also did add a little bit of charcoal bitterness that I'm not too fond of.
大阪に取れるんですよ。これは大体東京に来てると思うんです。値段はスティームで、そうこんなヘアリクは、毛ガニ。
The chawanmushi is smooth and semi-firm with the umami egg flavor, while crab add another layer of savoriness.
小肌。ザルシャー。
The kohada is thin and firm with a bold sourness and a minimal oiliness, which makes it just a tad on the dry side.
やりましたね。
すごい。アメトークだったらさ、見れるからさ、きっと
多分なんかでね。
見れますよね。見れますよね。見てみよう。
うちのお店の TikTok で見
あ、マジですか。わかりました。そっか。完璧すぎて。
面白くないと思う。
確かに。
水原一平飛ばす辺が結構盛り上がってない。山場でも今日盛り上がってる。
WBC 編も結構超えましたけど。
WBC もすぐまあ最後ね。
最後のバットもすごいですよね。
サフランってジャパニーズでホッキ貝。そう、シェルフィッシュ、ビッグシェルフィッシュ。
is chewy and bouncy, and the shichimi garnish on top did add a little bit of bright spiciness, and the seaweed brings a little crispy texture. Now here we have one of Sushi Rinda's signature sushi where they get the shrimps drunk on sake.
じゃあ、人間と一緒です。ちょっと酔っ払って、ちょっとはしゃいでる状態です。
それで
で引退した元プロ野球選手の解説の方とかが正直50-50何%で到達するとかツーショット撮ってました。
かわいいですね。
村上さんとか村上さんも来たりプロ野球選手はちょこちょこ。エビ食べてない人はーいって言ったら向けてる。
The way the shrimp stands up like this is so fun. It reminds me of Maui's hook from Moana. This medium-sized kuromai ebi is relatively meaty with a mild shrimp sweetness. And while the sake marination makes a great entertainment, I'm not too sure what contribution it added to the taste.
すごいですよね。スケジュールの立て方がうまいんでしょうね。本当に。Comments? Not this time.
Not this time.
Are you guys far away from here?
The kamizuke is lean and tender with a generous amount of umami soy flavor.
Look like
So the spawning season for akauni is quite short, only 2 months from October to November, so it's always a treat to see it.
今のウニの3枚のうちの一番下が。はいよー。
嫌いな人いないっすよ。
わかりやすく言うとこの赤ウニ、100g パックなんですけど、波の 250g のバフンウニとかより全然高いです。大体こう結構メインの流通は初日は美味しくても朝美味しくてもなんか時間経ったらあれみたいな。
The akauni has a firm, thick, creamy texture and with a flavor that's just slightly sweet, along with an interesting mild bitterness. Not like the bitterness of a bad sea urchin, but more of an enjoyable or herbal kind of bitterness.
これから先どんどん天然の魚が取れなくなってくると、おそらくこういう魚が10年後にはまたメジャーになってるんじゃないかなと。
I've only had Fui Dai a couple times before this, so it's quite nice to see it here. It's semi-firm with a slight butterness and a gentle sweetness.
サイズ着たけど
いいじゃん。なんか言っとくわ。
そうそうそうそしたら
ネットとかさ。
あとおんぶしもタイミングでいきましょうか。
温泉は行きたいな。
You will have so much fun here. These chefs are hilarious. So while the tuna roll is being rolled up by the second chef, the main chef is preparing the next nigiri for us.
平然と持つけど相当熱いですよね。
そんなことないです。
いやめっちゃ湯気出るんですけど半端ない湯気出る。
I always love it when the nagu is served flipped upside down. That way I can have the gelatinous texture hit my palate first, then the fluffy texture comes afterward.
卵の方が出汁が出てくるのに。
Just as I suspected, there are 3 different cuts of tuna in this roll, so you do get a lot of different textures. You get the tenderness from the kami, the butteriness from the chutoro and otoro, and the crunchiness from the pickled radish and sesame seed. Simple miso soup. It's warm with a gentle funky miso flavor. So after the miso soup, the omakase is finished, except a tamago at the end. So I asked the chef if they have anything special that we haven't tried yet. He said yeah, so let's see what it is. You know it's a good sign when the chef has to grate more wasabi for add-on, because that means they don't have a bunch of wasabi sitting out. Only enough when needed, more will be grated.
もう圧倒的に
日本人より多分詳しいと思う。
詳しいですよね。
これ全部飲み比べできるんで、好きなやつあれば。全部見たのじゃますあれば。あ、全部見たんです。
Interesting. So all of the previous nigiri, the chef placed it down on the counter, but for the kamatto, he had me take it out directly from his hand. I think it's because this kamatto is so buttery, dripping with fat, he doesn't want to waste any of those goodness on the counter, so taking the nigiri directly from his hand is a smart choice. And the chef did not lie. This is a special piece. Because a whole tuna only have 2 small jaw areas, so you really don't get to see this cut too often.
セバに行きましょう。
Sushi Rinda's tamago is the rolled egg version, so you can't see all the thin layers. It's sweet and semi-bouncy, with the cold grated radish on top balancing the sweetness right out. I thought the omakase was over until the chef started taking out all of these citrus juices and said it's all you can drink. Not only am I surprised that there are so many different kinds of citrus, but all you can drink too? You bet I tried them all. Not to my surprise, the yuzu one is my favorite. It's tart with a mild sweetness and it just smells so good. And the basic in me also quite enjoyed the mikan, which is one of Japan's most popular mandarin orange. It has such a beautiful bright orange sweetness. And great. Now I can't have normal orange juice anymore. This all-you-can-drink citrus juice lineup truly wraps up how fun Sushi Rinda is. Thank you Sushi Rinda for such a playful meal. Now it's time for my rating to see if it's worth the travel. Starting with the food, it's as they say, they're modern with fun twists, but also maintaining some traditional techniques. Unlike Edomae sushi or nigiri-only omakase, they serve nigiri that is seared, sake-marinated shrimp, and even somen in between. Although the seafood wasn't brought to their peak flavors, they are all decent and relatively good. So as me that enjoys more traditional Edomae sushi, it's not really my style, but if you're just starting the journey into sushi omakase and doesn't want to go all in traditional style yet, Sushi Rinda got it down. So I rate the food a good 3.2 out of 5. With the service and ambiance, it's all the way fun. The chefs are down to earth, goofy, which makes all of us more relaxed and loose. Some traditional Edomae omakase are a bit more tense because the chefs are really honed in on making the best nigiri, but here the vibes are definitely more chill. Especially because the chefs also speak English here, you can mingle with them, and during my visit, next to me are some amazing locals that spoke English too, so I was able to mingle with them too. The service is a fun 5. The restaurant is located in the Meguro area, which is quite far from more touristy areas such as Shibuya and Ginza. It's essentially in a little cozy neighborhood, so there really isn't much to do around the area other than strolling down the Meguro River. So I give the location a 3.5. The lunch omakase is 16,500 yen, which is roughly $115, making it 4.85 for the price. The overall rating is 4.14, which makes it worth domestic travel. So if you live in Japan, Sushi Rinda is worth the visit. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.